Some wins explode with arrogance. This one was all about quiet strength, hard work, and a coach choosing humility on one of the biggest stages in college football. And this is the part most people miss. For Ryan Day, this victory over Michigan wasn't just another tally in the win column. It was years of pressure, doubt, and expectation finally breaking in his favor. Ohio State head coach Ryan Day spoke with the media after his team's emotional 27-9 win over Michigan in Ann Arbor, their first victory in the rivalry since 2019, and a triumph that punched their ticket to the Big Ten championship game for the first time since 2020. He addressed not only the X's and O's, but also what this game meant to his players, his staff, the fan base, and his own family. But here's where it gets controversial. Even in a rivalry built on trash talk and bragging rights, Day leaned hard into the idea of winning with humility, instead of gloating. Day opened by sharing his overall reaction to the win, stressing how happy he was for his players, coaches, and the thousands of Ohio State fans who packed the stadium and stayed until the final whistle to celebrate with the team. He called it a special moment for his players, insisting they earned it through effort, toughness, and preparation, and he highlighted how physically and emotionally strong they played throughout the game. He also said he was thrilled for the fans back home as well, picturing them wearing the block, with a little extra pride now that Ohio State had reclaimed the rivalry for this season. Even though he had imagined for years what he might say if he finally got to address the media after beating Michigan, Day said he chose not to unload all those stored-up thoughts, and instead focus on handling the moment with humility. In his view, that approach reflects what the Ohio State program is supposed to stand for, and what it really means to be a Buckeye. He emphasized that the team came into this season determined to take this rivalry game back, and he believed the physical, passionate way his players competed made that statement loud and clear, even if he still wished they had finished off a few early drives to make the score look even more lopsided. Day reflected on how far the program had come from the same point a year earlier, noting that the journey between those two moments was filled with a lot of high-level football and growth. He repeatedly shifted the credit toward his players, pointing to examples like Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, and mentioning the behind-the-scenes work of people such as Sean Barnhouse and Adam Stewart, who helped get those players ready to contribute in such a massive game. To fans who might not see the grind, he implied that if they truly understood how much effort and sacrifice it took for those players to even step on the field, they would appreciate their performance and toughness even more. He also raved about the defense, especially the physical presence at the line of scrimmage, and the relentless pursuit from sideline to sideline that shut down Michigan's offense. According to Day, the defenders carried themselves with a confident, locked-in demeanor that made it feel like there was never any doubt about how the day would end once they walked into the stadium. That kind of body language and mindset, he suggested, is often a sign that a team is fully prepared for the moment. When he was asked about the gutsy fourth-down touchdown pass to Jeremiah Smith, Day explained that late in the season, especially during Thanksgiving week, teams do a lot of walk-through work rather than full-speed practices. Because of that schedule, Smith was actually very limited in live reps leading up to the game, which made his performance even more impressive. Day said the play itself was something they had mostly repped in walkthroughs, not in high-volume, full-speed practice, which made its execution under pressure a testament to Smith's preparation and poise. He praised quarterback Julian for the throw, calling it an excellent ball delivered in a crucial moment, and said the offensive line protection on the play was exactly what was needed for it to work. The decision to call that play on fourth down was intentional and aggressive. The staff had talked ahead of time about picking the right moment to take a shot if the situation presented itself. In Day's eyes, the players rewarded that trust by executing the design perfectly when it mattered most. Talking about the locker room celebration, Day described it as one of those memories that will stay with him for a long time, being in that room, surrounded by his players, soaking in the joy and relief on their faces after everything they had just gone through on the field. He chose not to share the exact words said behind closed doors, joking that those stories could wait for a future book, but the underlying emotion, he said, was pure happiness for his guys. The team's mindset, he emphasized, was to play as hard as possible out of love for their teammates, not out of hatred for Michigan, which is a subtle but powerful distinction. Day noted that his players are not living in a bubble, they have phones, they see and hear the criticism and commentary, and they fully understand how much this rivalry means to the program and its supporters. Winning this game, he said, checked off the program's top goal for the season and opened the door to the second goal, competing for a championship in Indianapolis the following week. The sense in the locker room, according to Day, was that they were already excited and hungry for that next challenge. When the conversation turned to what the win meant to him personally, Day admitted that the last 4 years had been far from easy. He said he shoulders the responsibility of being Ohio State's head coach extremely seriously, and that his family, players, and fellow coaches feel that responsibility alongside him. When the team falls short of its goals, especially in a game as important as this rivalry, he said it hits hard and feels personal because of the weight and expectations that come with the job. Day pointed out that his family has been part of the Columbus community for 9 years now, and in his view, there is no one who wants to win this game more than he does. That made this victory feel like a powerful moment he wanted to hold on to and truly savor, especially because of the happiness it brought to everyone involved. He stressed that being a head coach, at its core, is not about chasing trophies for personal glory but about investing in the people around you, the players, the staff, their families, and the fans, and using wins as a way to keep making a positive impact in their lives. He said victories like this allow the staff to continue building and influencing the program in the right ways, and he believes supporters can see and respect the staggering amount of work that goes into each season. Even when results in past years didn't go their way, he said, the group refused to waver. They stayed together, pushed through the adversity, and found a way to come out on top this time. In a profession where very little is ever easy, Day expressed pride in the character and resolve of the men in the program. Discussing the marathon 20-play drive that chewed up about 12 minutes of clock, Day admitted with a bit of humor that it would not be his favorite sequence because it ended in a field goal instead of a touchdown. From a coaching standpoint, he said, you simply can't be happy about running that many plays and not finishing the drive in the end zone. However, he also used that series to illustrate a bigger point he has made all season about what late November football really looks like. Throughout the year, Day often asked how things would hold up when it's snowing sideways the Saturday after Thanksgiving, and in this game, that scenario pretty much came to life. In those conditions, he argued, style points matter less than doing the dirty work required to win, controlling the line of scrimmage, managing the clock, and playing mistake-free, complementary football. If the game had been played indoors, he suggested, it might have unfolded in a very different way, but on this day, in this weather, they had to embrace a grinded-out style, and he felt his team did exactly that. Day explained that the staff believed if they could stretch the lead to 3 scores, the game would become extremely difficult for Michigan to claw back. Even though everyone always wants touchdowns, the combination of a strong defense and a steady offense meant that even a field goal in that situation carried real weight. On a key 3rd and 5, they called a short pass to the fullback in the flat, a choice Day admitted was probably conservative, but given the snow and the way the game was unfolding, he felt comfortable taking the safer play and the points. He also highlighted kicker Jaden's performance as one of the underappreciated storylines, noting the contrast between last season and this one and praising the confident look Jaden had all week. In big rivalry games, he said, special teams details matter immensely, fielding every kick cleanly, converting field goal attempts, and capitalizing on chances to hit big plays down the field. When you combine that with converting critical 3rd downs on offense and shutting opponents down on their own 3rd and 4th down tries, all those small things add up to the final result. Day pointed out that the offense converted 10 3rd downs and went 2 for 4 on 4th down, creating a combined 12-4-20 success rate in those money situations, which he called a major factor in the win. On the flip side, the defense held Michigan to just 1 conversion on 9 3rd down attempts and stopped them on their lone 4th down try. These situational wins, 3rd down, 4th down, red zone, were exactly the kinds of moments the staff had targeted as crucial, and Day was clearly proud of how his team responded. When he was asked about the early game issues, Day emphasized that there was no panic on the Ohio State sideline, even when things started poorly. He admitted that seeing Michigan rip off a big run on the first series made him think, almost in disbelief, that this was not the script he had envisioned. The early interception added to the rocky start, as the quarterback read the coverage as man-to-man, cover 1, instead of the zone look, cover 2, that was actually there. Despite that frustrating opening, Day said he never felt like the game was slipping